Good morning, welcome to massage and stretch class. This morning you're going to need a couple of things. You're going to need a foam roller, any kind, it doesn't matter, just a foam roller. So I've got quite a small one as you can see, but it still does the job. And a prickle ball, a spiky, softish plastic ball. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of self-massage and we're going to have a lovely stretch, so it should feel good. The only thing I would say is you need quite a lot of room to do this because we're going to do the back line of the body. So if you can clear a space, you can always pause this and come back, but you need a fair bit of space. So what we're going to do is try and massage down the back of the body. So it's kind of like when you go to a massage, when you have the long strokes, that's what we're going to do. We're just going to try and put some pressure, weight onto the roller, keep that weight on the roller, and then move. And what that does is actually lengthen out through the tissues. Feels good. It is a bit awkward, so you might find that you need to do bits of this. You can't perhaps support your weight the whole way through, that's fine. I'm going to start right at the end here. And I'm going to place this right at the top of my spine. And then I'm going to roll my weight onto it. So here, you need to be able to roll. So can you see it's moving? And I've got a little bit of weight in it. Now, it can be difficult to support yourself here. The more weight you put on the roller, the deeper your stretch, the deeper the massage. So you want to feel that you're sinking into it, but you might need to support yourself a bit. That feels really nice going down my back. So use your abs, your arms, your legs to support this rolling movement. Try and keep the pressure on the roller as you move. So this is why sometimes it's hard to do. You might have to break it down into bits and maybe just do your legs or maybe just do your back. But if you can keep it going, you will get stretched the entire length of your body. You can see how much space this takes. So I literally just fitted that in. So now that you've seen what it looks like, let's see if you can have a go. So think about, you're going to allow your weight to sink into the roller. You're then going to push yourself along so that your body moves backwards, but really it's the roller is rolling, so it's rolling you along. So let's try that again. So right at the top, put some pressure on it, sink in first. So that's kind of the most important bit. You've got to get that pressure on, don't have too much. Try and keep the pressure the same. And you can feel, so I can feel how tight that is between my shoulder blades. So it should be, a lot of people think the foam rollering should be about doing it as hard as you can. I don't agree with that. I think it should feel pleasant. We don't want the body to protect itself because we think we're going to get hurt. So I actually think this should be a fairly pleasant thing. That pressure on, and hopefully you can fit it in your living room. So I'm going to do one more of those. So what it should feel like is it's letting go a little bit. Maybe you can go a little bit deeper each time, but don't force it, yeah? And if you do think, gosh, I can't do all of that, maybe then just build up to it. Maybe get used to doing that bit. And just feeling that you can come down through your back and then sit down and have a rest. You can break everything down, so don't worry about doing the whole thing in one go. You could just do your back of your legs, couldn't you? So have a think about what's comfortable for you and what you can do. You don't want to come out of this lovely stretch actually feeling worse. So make sure that you do what's right for you. There's a lot of wriggling around, but that's still good for us, all these movements. It's good to move, especially if they're different movements to what you normally do each day. Oh, and running out of room again. There we go. So, foam rollering, not painful, maybe even good fun. Let's get the prickle ball next. So, prickle ball any size, don't worry about the size too much. It is more that if you're doing small delicate areas, a small ball is a little bit easier. If you're doing big areas, a big ball covers more. So, but don't worry about it otherwise. How spiky it is, people are always asking me how spiky they should be. It really is personal preference. A lot of people when they start feel that it's a bit uncomfortable, so they go for softer ones, but then work up to perhaps a little bit harder, or ones with a little bit sharper spikes. It's not about doing it hard again, it's about creating movement through the tissue, massage, feeling good. So don't do it too hard to start with. We're going to do the quads, so we're going to do from just below the knee, and we're going to go right up into the hip if we can. And then once we've done that, we're going to do one leg and then we're going to do some stretching. So we're really trying to release the area, and again it should feel nice. Yeah, so we're going to start here. So you've got this, like, there's my kneecap, there's like a thickened bit here. Yeah, that is where that muscle finishes. So we want to start there. You can do it over your clothes, doesn't need to be on bare skin. So I've got nice knobbly knees, I've got a nice knobbly bit there. Now the motion, so that's where we're going to start. The motion for the ball is not downward. Yeah, so it's not hard. The motion for the ball is this. So this is what you do with your hand. You sort of roll it. But with the ball there. Yeah, so you get a sort of motion with the ball. So that's what I'm going to be doing. If you're doing smaller bits, you still want to feel that you're moving, like massaging. Because if you're doing a massage, you would do sort of circular and up and down strokes like that. We are going to go in the direction of the muscle. So this muscle is kind of like that. But we're still going to do that motion, but up and down. Okay, still with me? So we're going around. So remember what I said, flat hand, no pressure, just, well, slight pressure, but no force. And we're just going to try and work around little circles. You can do it differently if you want, but little circles. And what you want to do is sort of pick up, I don't know if you can see on the top, pick up like the skin wants to move, like I'm moving my top. So as we do this, we're looking for some skin movement, probably not that much, but some skin movement. So on the bony bits here, you can see it's moving my trousers quite nicely there, but you want to just try and get a little bit of movement around there. We're working all around that bony there. Gently, not loads of force. You've got like a soft dip there. We don't want to push into that, but we can massage around that area as well. Again, no force. We're not trying to get in there. We're just trying to gently sink in, not straight in. Gently as you go, you feel that sinking in really nicely. That nice massage. So you've got quite a lot of bony bits around the knee. Got bony bits here you can feel with my knobbly knees. You've got the kneecap. So we're not trying to put pressure there. It feels kind of spiky, especially over the kneecap. You can feel that. But again, it's not so hard that it's uncomfortable. You're going around the knobbly bits at the side here. Now that actually feels really nice. So I can feel there's a little bit of tension in there and it's sinking into it nicely. That muscle there at the side. So you can see sort of my open, relaxed sort of hand position that I'm showing you on the mat. We're still doing that. So you can see now there's my knobbly knee. We're going around the kneecap at the side. and underneath the front, coming over the kneecap, and then coming around the sides again. So we really want to, on these sort of odd shaped bits, is to get all round the bone, and anywhere where there could be adhesions where it's a little bit more sticky perhaps than it should be. So we just want to help that process, flush some water through it, see if we can release anything that's a bit stickier than it should be. And it does feel really pleasant. There's nothing, I mean, I like prickle ball. If you're new to it and you're thinking this is weird, that's fine. But it should feel kind of pleasant. So we've gone around the kneecap. Let's go in that straight line that I was talking about. So we're going under the kneecap. Kneecap itself, here nice. Coming just over the top. So remember, circular motions, but following the line of the muscle. So we're going straight up with our circles. Oh, I can feel some lovely tension in there. We're going to lean back a bit. So if you lift your leg, you'll feel where that muscle is. And then just go gently into the hip. We're not trying to force anything. If you don't like any part of this, leave it out. So go by what your body feels like. One size most definitely doesn't fit all. I want you to think about what fits your body. And we're back up again. Now, as I'm doing this, I can feel that bit around my knee, not too bad. But as I come down, about halfway there, I can feel there is some real tension. And for me, the tension's going up here. So see if you can tune into your body. So I'm going to slow down. I'm going to go slightly deeper, slightly slower. Think about how it feels. I'm softening my leg a bit so it's a little bit easier to get. So you can see it's slightly bent knee. And I'm trying to work into where it feels a little bit uncomfortable. So you can see I haven't gone all the way down and all the way up. I've sort of gone a little bit each way. Feeling a little bit easier there. Right into that bit there now. So I'm working a little bit harder as it gets easier. So it feels now like my body is quite happy for that to be a little bit deeper. So that's exactly how I want you to do it. I don't want you to force anything, but as you think, oh, that's nice, then you can ease into it. And you can see I've moved round to the side a little bit, because that's where it felt I needed to work. So it is very much about listening to your body, which is a skill. We've all kind of got used to, I think, switching off from our bodies a little bit. So if you can't do it to start with, you think, I don't know what I need, just go gentle. Just see if you can feel any tension in the muscles. Even working into that hip. You might find your arm gets tired if you're not used to doing it. Just see if you can do it with the other arm. Remember that circular motion. And in fact, sometimes the other arm gives you a little bit of a better angle to get into the muscle. It's getting much easier now. So what we're going to do when we've done this, and it is worth taking a bit of time on this, a bit of time for you. So take some time on this. When this starts to feel like it is letting go a bit, that's when you want to do your stretches. So we're going to do a few stretches now to try and release into this quad muscle, or even into the hip flexors up there into the hip. And then we're going to do the other side and the same thing. Make sure you're really getting into that. Okay? So that feels nice and warm now. Increase that blood flow. So I've got my knee, hip and shoulder in a straight line. This leg is my support leg. So all I'm going to do here is just sort of tuck my bottom under, put a bit of tension, so that's stretching. And then I'm going to try and tense my legs. So I know this sounds a bit weird. You're not going to move. You've got your weight in your knee, but you're going to sort of tense it as if you're going to try and lift your leg up. So I can feel that tension down my leg, but I'm also in a kind of a stretch position. We're going to try and hold that and breathe. So I've got a little bit of tension. I'm still trying to lift my leg. It's not going anywhere because I'm leaning on it, and I'm still in that stretch position. Now this is kind of nice because this can release tension in your muscle that you didn't even know was there, and then that means that your stretches are going to be so much more effective. And that's what we want, don't we? We want to release some tension, relax it out, feel good. Okay, so I'm going to let go now, and then I'm literally just going to ease forward. So there's no tension now, we're just trying to stretch. So we're going a little bit more into the hip here, and we're just going to ease into it. So remember, you can of course put a cushion under your knee. You can take your time, you don't need to make it big. Again, really try and listen to your body. Then we're going to come back, and we're going to try and tuck that bottom under. Feel that stretch, can't you? Right up there. So just do a little bit of tilting, releasing, tilting. And maybe try and go over there, go over that side of it, go straight under. Think about how it feels. And then just hold it there. So this is a little bit more into the hip. I'm going to do one more for the quads. If you can't hold your foot, then you need something you can put around your foot so you can pull it in. So what we're going to do here is come down onto the front. I want you to push your hips into the floor, have your knees close together. This bit's important. If you lift here, as you move, you're not going to get the stretch. Try and relax your upper body. Ideally, we want to hold that. Push your hip into the floor. Take a few breaths. Really try and push that hip deep into the floor. Slow, deep breaths. If you can take nice deep breaths, it actually relaxes your body. You will get a much better stretch. Just let go. Lovely. So that's one side done. Let's do the other side. So remember what we did. Gentle, find that bone, all around that joint, around the bottom of the knee, all around the kneecap. So nice and gentle on the kneecap, we don't need to force anything. Working then all around the bony bits. And then we're going to come down, muscle, up and down. So again, think about where the tension is. If it's more here, slow down here and start to sink in. If it's more here, take your time. But you can change your leg position, make it so it's fairly relaxed, not too stiff. And changing hands if you need to. Sinking into that muscle. Okay, so I want to get nice and warm, so I'm going to do the stretches on the other side. And we can come all the way up into that hip flexor. So although we're working on certain areas, you can feel your arms are getting a little bit of work, you're moving around, so it's really kind of nice to get everything moving. Okay. So remember we did our release, so on the other side now, we're thinking of sort of tucking under a little bit, getting that stretch, but feeling like you're going to try and lift your legs, so you're tensioning it. I'm going to hold that. Try and relax everything else. Try and breathe. No breath holding. Nice and slow, nice slow deep breaths. Keeping that tension. Keeping tucked under. Keeping that as if you're trying to lift. But those two opposites, aren't they? Contracting and stretching. And then maybe releasing that off, sinking into it a bit. And just sort of work, I want you to think about how it feels. So the more you try to do this, the better it will get. The more you will get to understand your body and how it feels, the more you will connect. Just sinking in. Sinking in. And then we're going to come back and tuck that bottom under. Holding that. And again, maybe thinking about changing your position a little bit. Just see working into that a bit more. Maybe holding it. Again, slow, easy breath. And I'm going to come down onto the floor. Legs together, hip, remember pushing into the floor. Pushing into the floor. Sinking that hip right down into the floor. Lovely. Now I'm going to finish with a back stretch because tension here, as that muscle connects into your back, so we're releasing really all the way through. So what we're going to do is be in like a cat stretch. So all fours position, heel of the hand under your shoulder blade, knees under hips, shoulder blades joined together, chin tucked in, nice long spine. From there, lift through your lower back. So it's just small, just your lower back. See, as you lift up here, think of pulling your tailbone down and release up. Now obviously if you've got any lower back disc problems or this causes you any pain, please don't do it. We'll do it much smaller. Check with your healthcare professional if you're worried about any of the movements. We're going to release that, roll up, and then very slightly sink backwards and forwards. Round, just gently rock. Think about that gentle movement. So you're lifting up, start with the lower back, then pull the tailbone down and lift the rest, drop your head, and then very slightly sink back with the lower back. Ease off a bit, come back. Just so it feels good. Maybe just do the lower back. But you'll probably find that because that tissue is all connected up through the back line, that as you're moving here, you might feel where it actually is stuck. So your lower back might feel tight, but when you move, you might find actually there's tension further up. So just have a play around with that one. That one's quite nice to just see what feels tight. You might decide it's tighter up here, so you want to move up and then just sink that backwards and forwards. To be honest, it doesn't really matter. You want to get rid of any, gently move and get rid of any restrictions anywhere in the body. So anything that's stopping your lovely flow of movement, we want to work on that. Yeah, so the whole idea is to just get everything to release and move. I hope you enjoyed the class. Have a wonderful